Alright, this is Alex Arconi from Ocean Fitness, the $6 million trainer. Called the $6 million trainer because when I was a kid I had a Steve Austin action figure from $6 million Man show that was loved by all, at least every kid at the time. Anyways, this video is to tell you about what I'm calling the Phase 2 diet. Trying this diet out as a plateau buster diet, or even if you want to try it at the very beginning. So I'm going to just go over it in general terms. If you want more information about it, you can contact me. So what I've seen is that people who start in an exercise program and start with a reduced calorie diet make good weight loss progress, and for a lot of people that works fine for them. But I've had a few clients who lost 20 to 30 pounds and then kind of plateaued. And one of the problems, or a couple problems, is you can't just keep cutting calories more and more. You run out of calories. Number two, you can't exercise more and more. I mean, you don't have enough time to be exercising 4 hours a day. You've got a job and kids and places to be, places to go. So what I did was, kind of thought, okay, well, these plateaus must be connected a little bit more with hormones and what those roles are in terms of regulating your weight. And sure enough, I think that's probably the case. So one of the problems that arises is what's called insulin sensitivity. And what a lot of us need to do is build up our insulin sensitivity so we don't become insensitive to insulin. And what this diet does is it reboots, in part what it does is reboots our insulin sensitivity so that we're able to lose more weight and more body fat. So the big concept behind this, based on what I've read and stuff, is the idea of intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is pretty much what it sounds like. It means we're going to take a period of time, 16 hours, where we're not eating, and then an 8-hour period of time where we are able to eat. There's also a reduced calorie component of it, and there's also a reduced carbohydrate component of it. So I use myself as a guinea pig, so this video is just covering the first 2 weeks, the results that I saw from the first 2 weeks, and then I'll make further videos as I go along over the next several weeks. As I said, the overriding element of this is the intermittent fasting, 16-hour fasting period each day, 8-hour eating period. You got to be committed to making this sort of your lifestyle. I thought by day 2 there's no way I was going to be able to keep going 16 hours without eating, and I was just going to say screw it, I'm eating. But it worked out. I stayed pretty true to the 16 hours on or off, 8 hours on. Eventually, as we go along, we reintroduce carbohydrates. We introduce a cheat day. So Sunday NFL season starts. You want to hang out, eat all day, have a few beers. It doesn't become a problem. The first 2 weeks, somewhat strict in what you're going to do. So again, we got 16 hours of fasting. Hopefully you're scheduling that so that a good portion of that 16 hours is sleep. Hopefully it's 8 hours of sleep. Right. 8-hour period for eating, as we've said a couple of times. Calories. So you got to go through a calculation, and I've got a spreadsheet. I'm not going to go over the actual calculations, but just an overview of it. Obviously, you've got to determine your weight. You have to determine what your body fat percentage is. From there, once you have those numbers, you can determine what your lean body mass is. And from your lean body mass, you can calculate your daily calorie needs to maintain your current weight, your current body fat percentage. Now, depending on your body fat percentage, you're going to come up with that daily calorie maintenance number using a multiplier that's based on your body fat percentage. So what we do is we take that maintenance number, and on days that you work out, you're going to minus 300 calories. On days that you don't work out, you're going to minus 500 calories. And then there's also going to be a breakdown of how much protein, how many carbohydrates, and how many fats you're supposed to eat. The harder part for me than fasting for 16 hours was reducing carbohydrate intake by a lot. I'm not a big carbohydrate eater, but I usually have, some carbohydrate element in each meal, even if it's not a lot. Veggies are considered free foods. So during that 8-hour eating period, you can eat whatever vegetables you want. Some of the, carrots, relatively speaking, kind of high in carbs. So you will be having some carbs, but it's really the breads and cereals, sugar, stuff like that you need to cut out. So there you go, limited to 0 non-veggie carbs on non-workout days, some carbs on workout days. Again, if you want to contact me for more information about this, fill you in a little bit more on how all this is calculated. And again, the idea is to build up your insulin sensitivity. So, for me, being the guinea pig, over the past 2 weeks, I followed this protocol. I lost about 5 pounds body weight and about 1.4% body fat. I measured myself same time of the day, weigh in and weigh out, and those are the results I got. So, what was the good news from my results? Well, aside from the fact that, hey, I lost a few pounds and, about 1.5% of body fat, I counted 5 of the 14 days I was not strict about my carb intake because either somebody was visiting and we went out to eat, there was a business lunch or something like that, and I was not strict. One time went to sushi. It's sushi. What are you going to do? I had rice and way more carbs than I was supposed to. I did remain pretty strict about the fasting and eating periods, though. I was also not a super strict calorie counter. Even though I calculated what my maintenance level was, backed it off 500, backed it off 300, I'm pretty good about eyeballing what I'm eating, and that's what I did. The reason that's good news is because, hey, if you are strict about counting the calories and your carb intake, you might get better results than I did, more progress than I did. The other thing that I was surprised about was, I worked out the same way as I always did. I didn't notice any huge drop-off in strength or energy when I worked out. I mean, typically, I like to eat an hour and a half before I go work out, and if I start feeling hungry when I work out, it ruins my workout. But I got acclimated quickly to it, and it didn't affect my strength or my energy at all as far as I could tell. So the upside for you is, like I said, you might have better results than I did if you remain really strict with the calories and with the carbohydrates. I was a bit loose with that. I mean, generally maintained it, but like I said, there was about 5 days there where I did not stick at the level that I was supposed to. And the other reason why that's good news is, hey, even if you have an off day or two, it's not going to kill you. You can still make progress. And like I said before, I really thought the fasting for 16 hours was going to be a deal breaker. I thought there was no way I was going to be able to maintain that, and I would be back to, the 6-7 meals a day throughout the day routine. But it wasn't that hard. I mean, you run into a few stretches like you do anywhere where it became annoying. But I stuck with it. I think it's totally doable as a lifestyle. And in conclusion, the first 2 week period was a success. So if you'd like more information about this phase 2 diet, feel free to contact me at alex@myoceanfitness.com. More than happy to talk to you about it or any other fitness information you may want. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.